a question about some very highly fortunate and rare devotees following the path of Rag Marg, who have received the awareness of their Siddha Sarup by the mercy of Sri Guru, or by Sri Krishna directly, or some other means. They may somehow fortunately come in contact with their eternal spiritual identity and begin to meditate on Radha and Krishna's pastimes in that Siddha Sarup, what is often called Siddha Deha or Manjri Sarup, if the person is in Kamanuga Bhakti and Rag Marg. And he will receive, he or she, at the time of Diksha, from Guru, not necessarily the time of Diksha at all, but whenever receive, in one way, will receive from Guru what they call Ekadash Bhav, that the Siddha Deha or the Siddha Sarup has Ekadash or Ekadash. I often heard people say Ekadash. Ekadash Bhav. Bhav means conditions. Bhav doesn't mean like Priti and Bhav and Prem. It's not that type of Bhav, it's Bhav. Bhav means a condition. You say Bhavasagar. Bhavasagar means a condition of material existence, a state of existence, Bhava. So Bhava means 11 conditions, 11 aspects or conditions of the Siddha Sarup. And the devotee is asking which one's the most important. And those, we use this term Ekadash Bhav, and we talk about 11, but practically what I've seen, myself and others, they don't have 11, or I don't know how they're counting, it depends on how you count it, but somehow, depends on what you want to count. But it seems like most have 7 or 6, 7 or 8, or maybe 9 or maybe 10 maximum if you count one category as 2. Like if you say one of the 11 is your nivas. Nivas means place of residence. So generally that's combined as 1. Varsana and Yavat. That's called nivas. You're born, the gopi will take birth in Varsana in Boma Vrindavan from the womb of a transcendental gopi and get a transcendental body to begin learning all the final aspects of Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav. So one will have the qualification and the sufficient levels and experience and understanding of different feelings and intensities of prema to properly assist Mahabhavati Radharani in her Astakaliya lilas in various seva circumstances or situations. So that sadhaka, that sadhana siddha manjri upasaka will, in that spiritual form, in Boma Vrindavan, Prakat Lila, receive further training directly from Srimati Radharani, directly from Sri Guru, and directly from Ashtasakis and Rupa Manjri, Rati Manjri, Tulsi Manjri, and all these aspects of perfectly serving Radharani and Krishna, and all the different feelings and bhavas, they'll be understood by their witnessing them and experiencing them and being explained about them from their teachers, their prem gurus, the sakis. Now for the sadhaka, so that gopi will take birth in Varsana, then be married. That manjri, let's say, be birth in Varsana, then move to Yavat. When Radharani gets married, it moves to Yavat. Then the manjri will marry in Yavat and stay there. Some acharyas, like Narottam Das Thakur, he says, when will I be married in Yavat? So Narottam is preaching that one is that manjris are married. There's only 2 choices, either all manjris are married or all manjris are unmarried. It's not like you can have a choice, like, well, I'm going to stay brahmachari for a while and then maybe get married later. It's all part of it depends on how the particular parivar, thanks, how the parivar sees it, how they, what their understanding of that point of philosophy is, whether all the manjris are married or unmarried. Yes, go to the kitchen. So that, sometimes that nivas is divided into 2. Usually it's Varsana / Yavat, as a place of residence. It's called nivas. Nija vas becomes nivas. Nija means mind. Vas means residence. So if you divide that into 2, then you might have 10. But I have seen the Siddha Pranali Diksha Patras, charts of 4, maybe 5 different devotees from different parivars. And I haven't seen anyone with 11. I've seen 7, 8, 9. The only one and only place I ever saw with 11 was on internet. Someone had photocopied by a book, and they put it on the internet, the Siddha Pranali chart of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And in that chart, he lists 11. There's 11 actually listed there. And the names of those 11, I discussed this with my teacher, and they're already included. Like he says something called Parakashta. You read in Jaiva Dharma or Harinam Chintamani, when he's describing Ekadas Bhav, one of them is Parakashta, and the other one is Agya. Agya means the order for Seva, order for Guru. So then he has those, plus he has Seva, plus he has the Yuteshwari, etc. But those 2 categories I've never seen. And some of my friends have seen many more, they've never seen either. So the term is used, Ekadash Bhav, but practically, realistically, no one gets exactly 11. That's the first point. We're talking about these bhavas, which means conditions. So your question is, like for example, in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's chart, it says Agya, Seva. I discussed this with my teacher, and he's saying Agya means order from your Yuteshwari group leader Sakhi, or your Guru Sakhi, or Tulsi Manjari, Rupa Manjari, to do different sevas. But part of the 8 or 9 that everyone I've ever seen gets from Guru is a seva. You get a particular seva. For example, your Guru, sometimes the Guru even asks you. The Guru may tell you your Manjari name, and he'll tell you your skin complexion color, transcendental form color, and the form of your transcendental dress, and all these things. Then he'll say, what seva would you like to do eternally? What particular special seva would you like to do to please Radharani? And then you say, I'd like to play Veena. So then Gurudev will say, all right, then your seva. So under the category of seva, it says playing Veena. So that's seva. But in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's chart, he has the category seva and agya to make 11. But agya means order to do seva. You follow? So my teacher explained, and in seva, you have your one mukhya seva. It's playing Veena or cooking or massaging the feet or whatever. But then, at any time within that category of seva, your guru, someone may say, do some other seva. Like, you ever heard of something called a temple commander? And he says, Prabhu, what's your seva? Oh, I'm a book distributor. Okay, great. What are you doing now? Oh, it's raining. We're not going out. Okay, to clean the temple. No, that's not my seva. That's not my seva. I'm a book distributor. Hey, look, Prabhu. They use the word Prabhu. I don't know why the Prabhu is for God, but anyway. Look, Krishnadas. It's raining. The book distributors are all sitting around sleeping. Now, we need some help cleaning the temple and cutting up the vegetables for the feast. So then on order or on request, you'll do so many sevas. You understand? The main service. So Vishnu Chakravarti explains in Sankalpa Kalpajrum, and Narottam Das Thakur Mahashaya explains in Prem Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana, and Raghunath Das Goswami Pad explains in Vilap Kusumanjali, that all the different sevas, so many sevas that are done by so many different Ashtasakis of Radharani and Nitya Parishads, the Manjari can do all those services. Because in those books that I mentioned, by those great Nityasiddha associates, Narottam, Raghunath Das, and Vishwanath, they're doing all the sevas. Oh, Radharani, when will I brush your hair? When will I paint your feet? When will I make your tambul? When will I play Veena? When will I sing for you? When will I walk with you? When will I escort you on Abhisar? They're doing everything. They're like hogging the seva, as we say. Hogging is an American slang. And, hey, you're doing all the seva. There's no seva for me. No, I'm doing all the seva, and you can do all the seva too. You do all the seva with your Radharani and Krishna. I'll do all the seva with my Radharani and Krishna. It's that personal, it's that individual, and this is the fact. This is real. So this is the projection, and this is the projection and the direction that they give by their writings and by their teachings for the sadhaka to emulate. The word emulate means to follow. So we as sadhakas, we can think I have this seva of playing veena. So to play the veena, Radharani gave me prasadi, because she was so happy with me in different services. So one time when I was learning veena from Radharani took me by the hand and said, "Listen, Sakhi Manjari, you're playing nicely, but I want to teach you some special ragas. So now all the Sakhis, they're relaxing. You come with me." So then Radharani will take that Sakhi by the hand and take her to a cave in Govardhan. And Radharani will leave word with some Sakhi who's at the gate. "I'm just going with this Manjari to teach some Veena, and I'll be back." So then the Sakhi and the Radharani and takes Manjari to one cave in Govardhan, and she teaches to play. And while Radharani's playing, the Manjari notices how beautifully and hears and notices how beautifully Radharani's playing, and she notices, Radharani has one ring on each finger of her left hand, 5 rings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on this hand, Radharani only has 2 rings. So that's 7 rings. These 3 fingers are the right thumb, the right index finger, the right middle finger. There's no ring. Finger ring, right? Ring. So the Manjari is thinking, why is that? Why is Radharani? Because I saw Chandravali. Chandravali has rings on every finger. Why is that? And then when Radharani was playing the Veena, the Manjari had this question in her mind, and she was looking at Radharani, and she realized, if you want to effectively pluck the strings of the Veena, if you have rings on any of these 3 fingers, it won't be so fast and won't be able to play so well. So the Manjari was observing that and having that idea. And then Radharani said, "Have you paid attention? Have you heard the raga? Do you think you could? Would you like to try?" So the Manjari, she doesn't have any rings. So she starts playing very nicely, exactly like Radharani was playing. No one can play exactly like Radharani, because every single note that Radharani vibrates is full of Mahabhav. And the Manjaris, they only have Bhavalas. Their Bhavalas Rati is that their Bhavas rise in their heart in reflection, Abhirupata, or in reflection of Radharani's Bhav. So the origin of the Bhav is Mahabhavati Radha. And the Manjaris, because they're Tanmayatam, they're Tanmay with Radharani's Bhav, then that's reflected, that ulas, that Bhava rises in their heart, and then they feel the sattvic vikaras and the crying and trembling, everything Radharani feels. But Radharani is the origin of all of that. She's the supreme Mahabhavati. So she's playing, so the Manjari's playing, but she can't play with that same bhav, because she's not Radharani. Only Radharani has that Mahabhav. No one else has. But the Manjaris, unlike any other of the Asasakis, the Manjaris have the closest experience of Radharani's Mahabhav, because they have this special rati, this special aspect of the Manjaris, Sakhi Manjaris, Radharani's Kenkaris, special aspect of the Madhura Rati. Madhura Rati is their Sthayi Rati. So a special aspect of it's called Bhavalas Rati. It's not a separate Sanchari Rati, because Sanchari Rati comes and goes. And Sthayi Rati is always permanent. So the Sthayi Rati of the Manjari is Madhura Rati. She's always in the conjugal mood of love, supporting Radha and Krishna's conjugal, intimate, amorous, loving affairs. But she has so much identification with Radharani that she loves Radharani more than Krishna. Radha Sneha Adhika. So and then she's totally tanmaya. She's tanmaya with Radharani's bhav. That Radharani's bhav comes in her heart and creates a new aspect of her Madhura Rati. It's called Bhavalas Rati. And some Sakhis may have that also. But all the Manjaris have this Bhavalas Rati, which is a please forgive me for the analogy, but it's kind of like a turbocharger mixed on their Madhura Rati. You follow? Turbocharger means in a car, sometimes in these sports cars, they have the engine, then there's a button, there's the main engine of the car, and there's a small engine attached to that. And when you press that button, it gives more boost to your car. It's kind of like two engines in one, especially in Porsches and very costly cars like this. So it's called turbocharge. It means more boost. You follow? So this is the Bhavalas, what's called the Bhavalas Rati, the Manjaris.